Tell me in chat, what was our idea that we had? And by our, I mean my. What was my idea that I'm gonna patent and get rich off of again? Daniel's Gaming brand whiskey, like Jack Daniels? Was that the idea? A gamer whiskey. What was the slogan? There was a really good slogan though. It was like, don't get whiskey dick, get gamer dick. Happiest community on Twitch. You got GDQ Poverty Host. You got Trihex doing runs. What more do you want? Okay, I shouldn't. That was a rhetorical question. Obviously, y'all can want infinite things. Wins Earthbound, FS7OG, Yu-Gi-Oh.
2,000 years later.
Brax, you've beaten my number 9, but you haven't beaten a single Mega Man. That's literally illegal. I get it. Sorry, I shouldn't even. Why'd I even ask? When's Avatar watch party? Oh, too late. Avatar's no longer on Amazon Prime Video. Damn, Trihex. Unsubbed. Now, it is unfortunate that Powerpuff Girls Z, the anime adaptation, that was short-lived and kind of... I was a little lucky right there. Yeah, the Powerpuff Girls Z theme song is like a super fucking banger. The easy way to put it is like, certainly it's bad, but how is it bad is the important distinction here. And I would say it's like... I would say that, you know how like Rugrats really falls off after the introduction of Dill in the first movie? You know how Dexter's Lab falls off after the first 2 seasons? Like after the finale where they go to Japan and the TV movie Ego Trip happened, the series changes art style and gets really shitty. It's comparable to those. Like, if anything, it makes you appreciate how well everything works in OG Powerpuff Girls comparatively. Like, it's not disgustingly inoffensive, it just really does not work well, and a combination of having the original voice cast, having the original writers, not really justifying why we're continuing the series, all come into play. If anything, I would say that, like, whereas Rugrats did All Grown Up, and I didn't really find that was needed to be told, similarly, I feel like Powerpuff Girls actually lended itself to the opposite, where a reboot series was not as much needed compared to like maybe moving the characters forward. I find that way more potential and an interesting story to tell. You know, this is quite the topical conversation. I have my opinion, the correct opinion, all documented in a tier list form. Though be warned, there's a lot of stuff I haven't watched, so I didn't. I had to exclude it for. You know, it's, you have to rank what you know, right? For some reason, Kenan and Kel, there's an episode that sticks out in my head. I think as a kid, I thought it made sense. There's an episode of Kenan and Kel, I think it's a Thanksgiving episode, where shit happens and they have to like, essentially they have to get a cooked turkey ready before the family gets back, or else they're all gonna be in trouble, right? And so Kenan's logic is, okay, well, why don't we microwave the turkey, right? But put the microwave in the oven, that way it's baking while it's microwaving, and therefore it will cook twice as fast. And I was like, damn, that works. You know, 8-year-old me's all like fucking dumb and shit. I'm like, okay. So yeah, they put the microwave in the oven, and then like, I don't know, like, shit happens. I don't know, probably becomes a Gundam and kills him or whatever. I mean, chat, hear me out, right? Why wouldn't it work? Mod check. Counter arguments. Mod check. Alex Mack might have been more progressive than I remember because it was like, what was that, like early 90s, like 93 or some shit. Interracial platonic friendship. I give kudos to Alex Mack and Clarissa Explains It All for both having like not letting the other, you know, adult, I don't know, like equally aged male be the mandatory interest of romance. Yeah, Mac was 98? Really? Yeah, I don't remember Mac being that far out. That's crazy. Okay. Google, please. Google. Because I don't know if I agree with that. I remember like peak Power Rangers being around that time, and Power Rangers was like mid-90s. By the time you're in 98, we're talking like, you know what I'm saying? We're talking like a year before SpongeBob. We're talking like a year before Rocket Power. We're talking like I don't know. It's like so far out to me. Impressive grind set. Thank you, man. Well, I'm humble right now because I know it's been like 4 days and Yoshi requires like 1,000,000 hours of commitment to it. Like, oh my god. 4 days off this game, might as well like just not even bother. Like, holy fuck. Okay, I need this shot to like not fail, please. I can't tell you, chat. I don't know. I can't get that to happen when I'm not doing the run, and so I don't even know what to troubleshoot there. I'm just like, okay, like, I don't know. I wish I knew what to do about that. I don't. It's consistently failing, which has got me really annoyed. That I'm like, I'm doing a thing that I only do during runs that I'm not doing in practice, that I can't recreate in practice to figure out what I'm doing wrong or what I'm doing. Yeah, especially in Hundo. Hundo is just like, it's so exponential and accumulative. It's like, fuck, man. Ugh. Tell me in chat, what was our idea that we had? And by our, I mean my. What was my idea that I'm gonna patent and get rich off of again? Daniel's Gaming brand whiskey, like Jack Daniels. Was that the idea? A gamer whiskey. What was the slogan? There was a really good slogan though. It was like, don't get whiskey dick, get gamer dick. Oh come on, dude. I had a fucking banger ass marketing line with it too. Well, whatever it is, it's still a good idea, and I will make millions selling it as soon as I get Dan Gaming's to license it off. Give him his cut of the sales. Chat. Well, you know, obviously it's my patent here. I will be happy to offer y'all it at cost. Y'all can buy it and try it yourselves, and we'll call it equal there. Well, you see, chat, by subscribing to my community, you may have not been briefed on the terms and conditions here, but the terms and conditions include all monetizable ideas that are accumulatively spawned within this chat room are property of myself and all of my business affiliates, including y'all. Y'all are my customers. So There's no court case to pursue here, I'm afraid, Chad. You relinquish that right whenever you pay the $4.99, I'm afraid. Oh wait, I'm pretty sure that whenever you play an Activision Blizzard game, you have to agree to those like 21 pages of those 21 privacy policy pages. I'm pretty confident that essentially what it's trying to do there is say that you, Blizzard or Activision hold the right to monetize and use any game footage that you produce with their game. I don't know what that would mean. I'm guessing that if you had like a Twitch clip go super viral playing Crash 4, that they could put it on the billboard of Times Square without your consent at all. Because you have to agree to that license agreement before you ever like boot the game up or whatever. Shit company. I mean, well, they're definitely eating it right now. I mean, there's no way that they're doing fine. Like, I mean, that you got like the big three, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, all like actually considering exiting business deals with them. If I recall, that could have been all talk though, because of how like bad it's getting. Yeah, they're just probably too big to actually fail. Like, if Blizzard Activision was actually gonna collapse, they know what they could actually do is just like dissolve the company. CEOs walk out of the room with like, you know, all their exit packages, rebrand as a new company, and just like, you know, reacquire contractors and talent and just kind of keep going with it. It's a new company. Yeah, it's an unrust run, so I mean, getting my average time would be pretty solid. I can't really expect much out of it. I mean, I'm so again, that's what I hate about Yoshi is I like, dude, 4 days off. There's so much to maintain being good at that it's like, oh my god, dude. Just gotta put in that grind. I mean, goddamn, dude. So like, you know, my ego plummets to pretty much zero. That's like in a good way. Where I can't even say I expect anything. Like even average would be nice, like 245. Because like so many things can go wrong here that I'm not even aware of at this point. It's been like 4 or 5 days. Game is just like that hard, dude. So here we are. 245 would be nice, but anything better is also welcome. Any of the joy coming back since then? Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, it's because I also grinded on working out. Like doing fitness, I was able to understand how to enjoy improving at things rather than only enjoy being good at things comparatively. Yeah. You know, I don't feel entitled to success anymore. I respect the process of getting good. I mean, admittedly, there's like, it would be nice to do a different Yoshi game. Because I'm just, there's like not really much new going on here. There's like new tech here and there, but it's the same levels I've played a billion times. But also understand though, like this is like a mental barrier I need to get over, so like... I'm probably being a little bit too honest right now and it's gonna be misconstrued. Doesn't mean I don't like vanilla, just that I've played so much vanilla that... There's really not much here that really intrigues me beyond like... The inability I had to get better at the game in the past and how tilted I would get whenever I would fail. So like, because of how I performed and what my mentality was at that time, these are all things that I want to improve on moving forward to be a better person and speedrunner. But yeah, there's Yoshi ROM hacks that intrigue me far more than vanilla. But that's more things I want to do, not necessarily things that the community wants to see. So you know, we'll get on vanilla, and then we'll, you know, and to prove that I'm not like burnt out on Yoshi and shit, you know, there's other things I want to do. SMW runners move on past their core game to ROM hacks like frame 1, and most Mario Maker speedrunners have already like don't even touch SMW 1, you know what I'm saying? So like, so it's not like an unforeseen thing. I'm very much like this. I'm human too, you know. Variety would be nice. Like, you know, you gotta think here. I've played like a shitload of Vanilla Island. So yeah, coming to something else would be great. I mean, the metrics and all that prove it. Like, I have to like, given it's been 6.5 years, I would have to, you know, like, I have to like bridge the understanding. I'm not gonna really get people to come care about my speedruns. Of, you know, any ROM hacks if I don't bridge them to understanding why vanilla was so good. It's like releasing a sequel to a movie like 10 years later. Like, you gotta like, you know, you gotta re-release the original movie on like, you know, 10th anniversary Blu-ray and have a special like, you know, 1 month only theatrical re-release and shit like that. So, you know, it's the same thing for me. I have to like bridge like all these like Trihex fans who have been around for, you know, like 5 years or less don't even know about Yoshi Islands I barely touched in the last 5 years. So I have to like I gotta do a better job as like a content creator and like bridge what my core content, my original content was to what I do now. So this is like a refreshing change, you know. It's what I grew off of originally in 2015 and before, minus all the baggage of how mentally insecure I was at that time. And that's great. Wow, that was really good. And that's great. So, yeah, we do vanilla, and I'll get there. We work on PBs. I'm not really worried about world record. World record would require me to like... World record is just not really a good way to look at how to achieve it, actually. In my opinion, at all. World record should be a side effect of you getting continual PBs. Comparing to world record is just like an easy way to get really insecure, very anxious, and very frustrated. I think it's much healthier to not compare that way. Because world record holders' path to their success is very different than your own path. All that does is create a metric where it's not about getting good at the game, it's like you have to get good at a game faster than anybody else or whatever. Like, who cares how long it takes you to get good? And if you're enjoying the process of getting good and you are getting better and you are thriving under that continual improvement, then who cares if it takes you 6 months or a year and a half to, you know, get to your potential, I would think. Adding an arbitrary metric of how long you need to get there is just going to, like, make you feel sad for the same outcome you get anyway. It's stupid. I see it in working out, and I see it in here. Like, if I said, okay, if I don't get abs in 6 months, I'm a failure, then when I get the abs in, like, you know, a year and a half, my original criteria determines I'm a failure, and so I can't even enjoy how far I've gotten. That's how silly that can be with getting good at any hobby, or improving in general. So, I see that in speedrunning, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no. World record is like just a really... Because not even world record, I feel, was doing that. Even like the world record people, they're continually going at one another's throats, or PBs that happen to be world record. So, yeah, we go for PBs. We enjoy the process. Eventually in the future, yeah, I probably would hop on like all the fucking ROM hack shit that I'm really excited to like finally do a deeper dive into and stuff. There's a whole lot of Yoshi I want to play, and there's very, very little I've actually tapped into, I would say. You've seen one ROM hack with, like, Golden Yoshi Island, but, like, there's at least 2 others I think are worth looking into. A whole lot of Yoshi, man. Any tips on handling yourself mentally? Do you mean, like, in terms of tilt? And getting frustrated? It's a pretty big question. Maybe there's like a lot of tips I can think of. So you're giving me a lot of vague stuff, though. Don't feel entitled to success. Don't feel entitled to linear growth. Just because you run a game for like 8 months doesn't mean you should be expecting a static, entitled 10% increase of performance month over month. That's a assumption of entitlement that's not guaranteed for how things work. Review goes a long way. I think our emotions are a filter that will lead to a bias over how we remember how we performed. I think going back and reviewing your runs, or at least writing down notes over what to improve from your runs while they're fresh in your memory, would go a long way. So that you can then do targeted practice and not just like, you know, a bias of practicing whatever you enjoy practicing, sadly. Keep in mind the points of frustration you'll feel whenever you're encountering a plateau and improving is very often a perception-based one. And that as you are, in order to get better at any task, you're gonna have to be able to distinguish and recognize what you are not good at. So, in time, it's gonna seem like you're getting worse at the game rather than better. It's only because you're able to better see what you are needing to improve at. The only way you'll feel burnout is whenever you'll whenever you lack stimulation in the environment that you're engaging in, with like too much grind and not enough like invokement. So always pause to evaluate here if you're like, are you pushing because of you enjoy the process, or are you pushing because you feel like you have to validate yourself somehow? It's okay to have, like, you know, some amount of ego here to be able to, like, you know, having the correct amount of ego is something easier said than done, but when you have too much ego, you'll blind yourself from the truth and never want to admit that you're at fault for how you're performing. You'll tend to blame RNG or blame the game's stupid design for why you're playing bad and shit like that, because you can never admit your own fault to it. The ego defending itself. Too little ego, and you might deplete yourself of purpose and sense, and therefore lose motivation to keep pushing. Really important to always, like, sit down and evaluate where you are on that. I think you'll have a way better time with speedrunning as a whole, no matter the game, if you can constantly keep this in check and not wait until it has to be a reactionary thing, but rather a proactive thing. Calibrating expectations too can go a very long way. You know, realistically, if you don't have, like, you know, several hundred hours to put into Mario Odyssey, then you shouldn't feel entitled to getting anywhere near, like, you know, sub 1 hour, or dare I even say shit, like fucking sub 105. Like, bro, that game is hard as fuck, and like until you've contextualized the work ethic required to get there, like you shouldn't really be downing yourself for that. Comparing to others without knowing the context of what it takes to get there or what they did to get there is very, in short, silly. Dare I say stupid. You know, it's like saying, you know, you saw a guy bench like 500 pounds and you feel like you should be able to do that because you saw him do it and nothing more. And like, you know what I mean? I gotta try this out hard. See, I don't even think it's even that simple. People want, but don't want to work for it. People don't even know how much work it takes to get there. Again, it's like having a destination, but not knowing, you know you want to go to this point, but you don't know how far it is. Like, you want to walk to California, but you don't know how many days that would take. You don't know how many miles away that is. You don't know, like, you may walk in that direction for 30 days and feel like, well, what the fuck, I should be there by now. I've been walking for 30 fucking days. But you don't have the context of where you're starting and the destination to cater your expectations appropriately. Because it's like, okay, well, I love food, I love snacks, I love cookies and breads and carbs and all that. If I let all these things go that I'm not used to nor trained to let go, I feel like I should be making some big results here. Like, this food sucks to eat. These workouts are boring to do. So why am I not, I'm able to quantify my suffering when doing this. So therefore, I should be able to quantify my gains, right, that I'm expected to get here, right? It's proportional, right? And that's the whole thing about it. There's so many loaded assumptions with, like, well, if I suffer this much, then I should be gaining this much, right? And it's like, no, you're assuming that, and that entitlement is what causes you to lose motivation when you put in a week of effort and you're not seeing, like, week 1 results. You know what I mean? That's just an example there. Like, again, I feel like with other hobbies, it's easier to be more objective with it. But again, because we have all this emotional baggage with our self-image and fitness and exercising and the looking in the mirror and, all that shit. It's hard to deal with, honestly. It's more, it gives you, the emotions will give you the motivation to definitely want to do better. But you have to work your way through that.